As schools are sort of working their way back, there's a fight as many of these schools are going virtual. Some are allowing in class, some are doing like, a rotation schedule, all of that in the age of social distancing. But for those who are doing Zoom classes, there's a lot of teachers are kind of putting up walls about what parents can see. There was a quote, this story here from Fox News. Tennessee mom says parents asked to sign, quote, ridiculous waiver that they will not eavesdrop on kids' online classes. This has been going, I've seen this elsewhere, not just in Tennessee, that teachers basically want to make it private between them and the students, and to not allow the parents to see what's going on in the class. And this is my BS meter instantly goes up when I heard this. What do you think of this story?
Yeah, I was reading this article, and I think the one quote that said they don't want parents to overhear confidential information. Like, what confidential information is a kid learning at school? You know what I mean? Like 2 + 2 = 4. That's confidential.
Very strange.
I get very skeptical about this, and I know a lot of the commentary that I saw in I think it's the Fox and Friends. It was something from Fox News. I don't know if it was Fox and Friends, but it was something. But they were saying, I don't want them teaching my kid propaganda and all this other stuff. What I think I would worry about more as a parent is, like, in this age of like sex trafficking and all this other stuff, like, what the hell could a teacher be doing with your child behind closed doors? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what I would worry about. Like, it sounds dangerously close to something like abuse. Since when is it acceptable for a parent to not know what their child, a minor, is doing with an adult behind closed doors, whether that's over Zoom or not?
No, that's a great point. And it is interesting how things have changed. It's almost like, is this equivalent to like police body cams in a sense? Because things that we never saw before, and it's back in our day. I don't know were there cameras in your school, like in your classrooms? There weren't in mine. So anything that happened I think there was maybe in the hallways, but not in classrooms. Whatever happened inside of a classroom was basically between the kids and the teacher. Not that anything bad was going on. I hope not. But there was always a he said, she said sort of a situation. Now, with virtual school, the teacher's got to maybe, whatever they're doing or whatever's going on. This is now, it potentially could all be public, right?
Yeah, it could be. And so that's what sounds weird to me. It's like, now that all of a sudden parents have to sign a thing that say they can't know what their kid's doing in class, basically. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that a parent should sit there and listen and interrupt a lesson, but like, as a parent, you have a right to know what your child is doing or learning in their school, right?
Absolutely.
And if it's something that you need to contact the teacher or the school about afterward, then that's fine. But like, it doesn't mean that as a parent you can sit there and interrupt the class and interrupt the teacher. Right.
Yeah. A child is right. Exactly. Where a parent like steps in and starts we don't want that. That's crazy. But a child essentially, for better or worse, a minor child essentially has no privacy, right? To their parents, right? Within reason, but when it comes down to it, what they do in school is absolutely the parents' business. And, who knows what teachers have been saying? You talk about, propaganda, indoctrination. I'm not going to say none of this goes on. There is a narrative to our schools. Some of it's religious on one hand. Some of it is, maybe Marxist on the other hand, or something like that. Maybe, maybe now in this year, I'm just speculating here, maybe moving into the school year this fall, I'm sure BLM will be a topic. How is that going to be handled by teachers? Will they be talking about it dispassionately? Will they be promoting BLM? Will they be talking bad about BLM? Well, now parents have a chance to find out what these teachers are actually telling these kids, because it does matter. Kids are impressionable, and these messages do shape how they see the world.
Yeah.
And so they apparently in this specific example, there was a big outrage, and now the compromise was supposedly, and as you were getting at it, that they can't record. Well, now they can watch, but just can't record. Absolute bullshit on that. You can record it, particularly for a record, if a teacher's saying some crazy shit or God knows, mistreating a kid. Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good if maybe in the classroom or not, however this is all handled, if a teacher is abusive to a kid, if just whatever reason they don't like him, we've all been there. Sometimes, kids and teachers don't get along.
Yeah.
I was not a particularly well-behaved child in school, and some teachers had it out for me in some cases, and I deserved it in other cases. But what if a teacher's picking on a kid, or what if a kid's just being a total ass, and they need they need to be disciplined in some way, and now there's actually a record of it.
Yeah. And the other thing about the recording, like it's like, why wouldn't you want them to record the class? Because it's like, that's such an easy way for you to take notes, right? If you need to go back and learn something that you might have missed,
like when you're in college or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'd have your recorder out, you know what I mean? You take notes and it would time it up with the notes. It was perfect. It doesn't make sense to me. There's this weird concept with school and learning where it's like, if you don't do it right on the first try, then that's it. You know what I mean? Where I've seen some teachers now where they let you retake a test as many times as possible until you pass it, which that's probably a real way that you get to learn it, like to learn if you're to learn the knowledge and know you're doing it right or not. Right.
That's interesting perspective. I never really thought of it that way. Yeah. I mean, if the point is for you to get it, then maybe, you keep trying until you get it. Like I was, as you can tell, I was never particularly good at math.
Yeah. And I never thought of it this way until I was reading an article, an opinion piece about this subject about it, because they were like, what it's doing is it's training people to get into the real world and do something once. And if they fuck it up, it's, well, I already did it once. I fucked it up. So that's it. I'm not going to redo it again because
I failed.
I failed. So that's it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, believe me. Speaking of, to use a recent example, is you and me. Well, the technical issues of hosting a little program like this on certain programs and trying to do it live and coordinate the video, the sound, all this stuff. I failed. I don't know how many times I failed, and I think I've only gotten it right once, at least going live, like say with Rodney or something. And I guess to use your example, I could have just been, well, I guess I can't do it now because I didn't get it right.
Yeah.
But instead, I kept trying.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just big. That's a little more rant about school in general. But anyway, why shouldn't they record the classes, right? It's that way they have the knowledge. They can go back to it. If they're studying later, like, oh, what the hell did the teacher say? Let me go back and look and see what they said. Doesn't make sense.
No, I think you're exactly right. I mean, as I was saying earlier, I was terrible at math, particularly algebra. For whatever reason, I'm just terrible at algebra. Things like statistics, I get instantly, but algebra, terrible.
Yeah. And
I struggled with it. And it wasn't until I got the right teacher who explained it to me in the right way, I felt like an idiot and all this stuff, and then I got it. And then once I got it, I got it. And, so and now not that I could do it now, but
yeah.
But I agree with you, particularly, if a student is willing to learn. I mean, now that we have like endless resources for kids who are continuously failing, because there's probably more things going on there than them trying. But yeah, no, that is an interesting perspective, and having the ability to go back. Well, just assume nothing bad's happening, right? On either end, just as you said, just to simply have a record. So little Johnny can go back and hear what the teacher said at minute 20 or something about whatever the Spanish Civil War or God knows whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. This is absolute crap. Teachers have no reason to fight this, and kids in this instance have no expectation of privacy. It's coming from the teachers for whatever they're worried about. They need to get over it because. Very quickly, Zach, education is changing in this country, and there's a lot of people. Not only do they not just want to put their kids back in school because of coronavirus, they're like, I just don't want to send you to this place.
Mm-hmm.
And what some consider indoctrination camps, and sort of breaking that. There is, and again, whatever you think of that, there is a narrative in education, right? Either one way or another. The teacher is telling kids a certain version of, particularly when it comes to like history or civics or whatever, right?
Biology was always the biggest one.
Yeah. Well, because we mean about like evolution and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
like when I was in school and we were learning it, our biology teacher was just like, I am required to teach this. It has nothing to say about what you believe, but you're going to be tested on it. This is what I have to teach. Basically, she said, it's not. She basically said like, doesn't mean your beliefs are wrong or right or whatever, but just learn the fucking evolution just so you know about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, sex education. That's a big one.
Oh yeah. This is weird. My cousin was my sex education teacher.
Oh, that wasn't
Yeah,
awkward
my
at all.
cousin was the teacher at my middle school that taught sex education.
Oh
It was
man.
really weird.
No other. She was the only one that taught. Could you try
It
to
was
switch
he.
out of
It
it?
was my cousin. It was a guy. It would have been more awkward if my cousin was a girl. No, yeah, it was a guy.
Oh, that's funny. Oh man. Yeah, it's fun awkward times.
Yeah.